welcome to class. Welcome to Aya's corporate meditation class. My name is Mariah Slayerland, and we will be sharing energy for the next 30 minutes. Or if you choose to do the whole hour, we do the first half hour is more for a little bit of breath work and a little bit of preparation for the meditation. And then we go into the second portion where we really, focus our energy in a particular place, or focusing our energy or our intention, right? Well, we're focusing our intention into something specific. So a lot of times I like to offer people an opportunity to come on and maybe share or just type in the comments something that they're wanting to send energy to, or something that they're wanting to work on at this particular time in their life. And then if that isn't possible, then we just start the process of the breath work, and then we just, let nature take its course. We just sort of sit back and relax, and we let ourselves be intuitively guided or led in such a way that we start to recognize that there is a force greater than us that's, conspiring to have us learn lessons and learn why things are the way that they are in our lives. So we sort of move along. It's like this game. I love this analogy of this game, Chutes and Ladders. It's like you keep playing this game, and as you play the game, sometimes you get to climb the ladder, and sometimes when you don't learn your lesson, you take the chute back down and you try again, and you keep at it. And it's the name of the game is to not ever give up on the game. The name of the game is to just keep going, and we get there. I promise you. That's the beautiful part, is that we get there. We just gotta keep at it and chip away at it, and not even. It doesn't ever feel like it's that it's work. It's mostly this idea that when we live in this nature of following something that our heart believes in, or following something that where we feel guided and led, then it's just like the sweetness in all of our experiences when we do that. It's like when we follow the mind. Well, the mind thinks, and the mind will get in there and mess things up. But when it's what we say. We say follow the heart. So this kind of practice, guided meditation or breath work or whatever, it does. It teaches you how to tune into your heart, to listen to your heart, to start to recognize what our heart sounds like, and then gosh, once we do, like, really things just start to open up for us, and it starts to change our lives. And sometimes the changes are so subtle we might not recognize them. And sometimes the changes are so profound that it's literally impossible to not recognize and to not acknowledge that, not to acknowledge that there is this beautiful guidance out there for us if we just learn to tune into it just a bit. So, all right, how do we start this practice? Well, I love to do grounding work first. Why is it so important to ground? Well, grounding is, if you think about your physical body, if it were a tree, the deeper your roots are, the more grounded you are, the more connected to earth you are, the more connected to your life you are, the more connected to like all the things that happen to you. I used to think of myself, it's funny, I used to think of myself a little bit like there's this term out there, that was like airhead. And I used to think of myself like that, and not in a ditzy sort of way, but it was literally like I lived my life. My life was so much more freeing when I felt like my head was in the clouds. And that just means that I live in this space of knowing that there's something greater than me that's guiding, knowing and trusting this connection that every one of us has. So yeah, my head was always in the clouds. And then when I'd have to come, back down to earth and like actually create things or get things moving or do these things, it was trickier for me because it was more comfortable for me to be like have my heads in the cloud, my head in the clouds versus my feet on the ground. And having your feet on the ground is the other half of it. Having your head in the clouds is only half of it. It's like, yeah, we want to have our head in the clouds to be connected to this, but then we also have to be connected to the earth. And that's like the raw energy. This is like power. This thing is power, but this part, the earthly part, the part where the earth comes into us, we say Mother Earth, Mother Nature. It's this feminine energy and it's creative. It's a creative energy. So we want to have a strong root system. We want to have a strong foundation. We want to be really grounded in what we're doing. We want to be that way because if we are, and we have that, then we have like both, we have both energies running through us, the masculine and the feminine. We have both energies running through us. It's like we have all this beautiful, creative, feminine energy, but then we also have this amazing raw power of the sun. It's like, just think about it, like that's very masculine energy that comes down, and anything here on earth is very feminine energy. And I wonder sometimes, about like how we see the way people think about masculine and feminine and what predominantly they're attached to. We look at our bodies and we look at this, we just straight up, like that's a male body, that's a female body. But if you're more in your feminine energy or if you're more in your masculine energy, you look one way, but inside you feel another. It's like, and that's to me, like, I was very, when my head was in the clouds, I was very attached to this masculine energy, and and the characteristics of that on the outside were I had a lot of masculine jobs, truck driver, construction worker, supervisor at Costco, like all these very masculine jobs. And it's not about that being a man job. It's not it. It's like masculine is the doing, it's the action side. So I was very in tune with having these jobs where it was very action oriented, where it required my physical abilities. So that's a masculine energy. And then the feminine energy is just different. It's more creative. It's, it took me a long time to develop this inside of me, this, I would say, softer side. I would say it was more, being in the space of being creative and being like receptivity, receiving, whereas the masculine is the doing and the feminine is just this receiving and receptivity, place. So It's not about like how our physical body looks on the outside. It's like, how do we feel on the inside? Are we more in tune with our masculine energy, or are we more in tune with our feminine energy? Let's, you know, it's just what it is. So, so we want both, you know, we want both running through us. We want this raw power, you know, that's about guidance, and it's about intuition, and it's about these things. Then we need the energy to see it through. So we need this feminine, you know, the energy to like put it into, you know, first have the idea, create the idea, and have the energy for it, and then, you know, send it up to the masculine. Like, hey, did you hear that? This is what I'm trying to create. Let's go. Let's do it. So grounding. That's why grounding is so important. I feel you guys are starting to get it now. So that's why grounding is so important, because we want both, you know. We want both. So, all right. So let's get started. Sometimes I like to do breath work, but maybe today it doesn't feel so much like we need to do breath work. But here's something simple you can do every single day when you first wake up. And it's not about the time that you do. It's not about how many times you do it. It's nothing like that. It's just clearing your energetic pathways. So how do we do that? We'll go right thumb, right nostril, breathe in. Plug off the left side, breathe out. Breathe back in. Plug off the right side, breathe out. Breathe back in. Plug off the other side, breathe out. Breathe back in. Plug off, breathe out. Breathe in. Plug off, breathe out. And then just release and let go. And what you're doing when we're doing alternate nostril breathing is we're balancing the left and the right body. We're balancing the masculine and feminine. We're balancing the power and the energy. We're balancing the Shiva and the Shakti. We're balancing the yin and the yang. So every culture has a different way of saying it, right? But we're balancing, what we're doing is we're balancing the body with the mind. So we're plugging off to get all of our energy going all the way up, boop, to your third eye, your intuitive center, your sixth sense. So we're getting our energy going there, and then back down. And then breathing up, and then back down. So that's what we're doing when we're doing this process. It's super simple. It's super simple to do this work. You can make it complicated and, it has to be this finger and that finger has to be this and that. Do what feels right for you, you know? But just breathing in one side, then plugging off that side, breathing out the other. It feels like a mountain. So just imagine this. We breathe in, out, up, down, right? And every time we're exhaling, we go back up the same side, cut off, down this side, go back up that side. So it's like we're creating this Tadasana, mountain pose, as we're doing it. So that's the idea, right? We're getting all of our energy up to clear this, okay? So we're balancing the left and the right side, and then we're also balancing the like, let's say the higher self with the lower self. Let's say the earthly self with our divine self, you know? There's all these different terms. They're just terms, you know, they're just words. It's the meaning that we put behind them that really matters. Okay. So alternate nostril breathing is something that you can do every day in the morning, simple as, you know, just doing that. And then just watch what happens when you clear your, you know, when you clear your energy, or you clear even your nasal passages, you clear this ability to be able to breathe, breath in every language besides English, breath and spirit mean the same thing. I mean, come on. So breath and spirit are the same thing, right? When we get upset, we say stop and breathe deeply for, 10 times. And that's just to like regroup, hold on, don't go down that road. So in every other language, breath and spirit mean the same thing. And when we breathe, we really do sort of remember, we take back in our true essence. When we start to breathe, we really start to get in touch with like, oh, what is our natural true essence? And when we forget to breathe, we just close that off, when we shorten our breath or when we don't breathe intentionally, we just strangle that. So breathe, breathe, breathe. Take in those deep breaths. Breathe both sides. All right, so now let's lightly close your eyes and we're just gonna go into my favorite way to ground. Okay, so we're just gonna go into this, take a moment. And just think about what we're going to do now is we're going to balance our heart with, our mind. We're going to balance the physical body, the mind, the body, and the spirit. The mind, the body, and the soul. So we want to balance all of these things. We want to balance the mind and the body to reach the spirit. So just lightly close your eyes and find your body in whatever position feels most comfortable to you. And then we're going to lightly close our eyes. And we breathe in through our nose, and as we exhale out our nose, you can send the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And when you exhale out the nose with the tongue to the roof of the mouth, you should hear that, and that sound sounds like the ocean. When we blow the conch shell, that sound is the sound of creation. That sound is Om. And so we can make that sound within ourselves just by taking your tongue to the roof of your mouth, breathing in through your nose, exhaling out your nose. Beautiful. I'm going to go into this beautiful visualization where you find yourself standing somewhere. Just find yourself standing somewhere on the earth. Just allowing the mind to connect to the heart. As we take this journey with your higher self. So just allowing these ideas to gently guide you in a way that is perfectly perfect just for you. So we breathe in through the nose, tongue to the roof of the mouth, exhale out the nose. And find yourself standing on the earth. And just turn your body and face the sun. No matter where you are, just allow the sun to shine on your face, on your throat, on your forehead, the top of your head, your heart, your belly, the front of your legs, all the way down to your feet, the palms of your hands. Just allow the sun and feel the warmth of the sun on your cheeks. Feel the warmth of the sun in your smile. And as the sun shines on you, your body morphs and changes into a beautiful tree. If this is your first time, just notice what kind of tree you become aware of. What kind of tree pops into your consciousness. Are you a true tree that provides shade? Do you produce fruit? Do you provide shelter? Or does your tree make the world a more beautiful place? Just notice what kind of tree you become. And then we notice the state of our tree. What season is your tree in? Is it time for pruning? Is it time for picking your fruit? And then we're going to focus on our root system and just notice, become aware of the roots, the bottom of your feet, the trunk of your tree. And we're going to notice our surroundings. Are you all alone? Are you amongst a forest? Or does your tree stand alone? These are all subtle clues, subtle characteristics about your nature in the world. And every time our tree takes a breath, it sends all of its energy down into your root system. And in order for us to grow, to really connect to that creativity within us, we need our root system to go down to the core of the earth. And so our roots are on the surface. And if we stay here, then we're easily uprooted, toppled over by windstorms. If our roots just stay on the surface of the earth, our growth will be limited. And something inside of us just knows there's more to your life. And so we go deeper. We allow ourselves to go deeper. We breathe in. We exhale out. And our roots go to the next layer of the earth. And the next layer is the bedrock. And the bedrock represents those rocky parts of our lives, those sharp edges. We can stop here. Or we can realize that the bedrock teaches us about our strength and our courage and our will to keep growing no matter what comes in our way. So we breathe in. We use our internal strength, our courage, and we allow our roots to go deeper into the earth. And we reach the next layer. The next layer of the earth. Is the oil. And the oil represents the sludgy, messy, thick and slick parts of our lives. Oil is this incredible darkness. We all have it. And the oil here holds this beautiful value to us. Like oil is a commodity on earth. And the value to us in this instance is in its lessons that it's here to teach you. So we find ourselves in the oil and sometimes we stay stuck. And then we start to realize as we learn our lessons, about grace, the root of grace grows through the oil and it attaches to the core of the earth. And as we learn our lesson about peace, inner peace, outer peace, the root of peace grows through the oil and it reaches the core of the earth. And as we learn our lessons about kindness, the root of kindness grows through the oil and it reaches the core of the earth. And as we learn our lessons about joy, the root of joy goes through the oil and attaches to the core of the earth. And as we learn our lessons about unconditional love, the root of unconditional love goes through the oil and it attaches to the core of the earth. And the core of the earth represents the core essence of who you are, the core of your tree. Our life and the life of our tree started with a seed, and that seed had everything in it. Everything that you're meant to experience. It was already pre-designed. It was destined. Destined to be the way that it is. And then as you make your breakthroughs, as you learn your lessons, your tree begins to grow, and it continues to grow. And sometimes we grow unknowingly, and sometimes we can add fertilizer to help us grow faster and stronger and healthier. And that's why these practices are so beneficial, because they teach us. They help us learn our lessons. They help us move forward in life. And so we follow our roots all the way down to the core of the earth. And we become aware of which roots need attention. The root of peace. It's either reached the core of the earth or it hasn't. And if it hasn't, it needs attention. It needs intention. To intentionally have all of your roots reach the core of the earth. And then as they reach the core of the earth, they wrap around and they anchor themselves. Anchor your roots to the core of the earth. Even if it's just one to start, just anchor yourself there. And this is what grounding actually feels like, is to be anchored, to be strong and rooted in your foundation. On the physical body, this energy sits at the base of the torso, the base of the spine, the tailbone. And so we're pulling all of this energy from the atmosphere with your breath. And we're sending all of that down to the core of the earth. And we're waking up that feminine energy, that creative energy. We're waking that up inside. And we're going to breathe up from the core of the earth. We're going to breathe up our root system, up into the physical body, the trunk of our tree. You can't breathe up any of this feminine energy unless you're grounded. And then just send all that energy all the way through you up into the universe. And so let's go down. Just imagine that you could sit in the core of the earth. You can think of it as your creative space. And this is a place where we can co-create. We can create you can call it manifesting. Law of attraction. That all is based on your intention and your beliefs. If you don't believe it, it's never going to happen. And then if you don't intend for something, it's never going to happen. And so from the core of the earth, we're just going to sit here in this space. You can create a space, you can decorate it. At the core of the earth, just knowing, what does it look like? What does your core of the earth space look like? This is the space where we create. It can look like an art studio, maybe a writing desk, arts and crafts, or maybe you're just sitting there and you're thinking about what it is that you're ready to co-create, to manifest, to attract. This has to come from our hearts. We have to truly believe in something. And so we're just going to allow ourselves to be in the space, to sit into the space. Just allow yourselves to be here. And allow it to come however it does. What are you ready to create in your life? And sometimes we plant seeds and, they need time to cultivate. They need time to germinate. But it's the intention of planting the seed. It's the intention when we plant a seed, the energy that we put into it. And so the first step in this process is we have to be 100% certain that this is what we truly desire. your heart's desire, your pure heart's desire. And so we have no wavering in this decision. We're completely at peace when we make this decision. And so we just go and allow the energy of what it is that we're wanting to create, just allow it to come to you. If it's a material thing, or maybe it's deeper than that. Oh, I'm really ready to cultivate more love in my life. Maybe I'm ready to embrace unconditional love. I'm ready to incorporate more peace. But whatever it is, we want to be 100% certain. No wavering in this decision. And completely at peace. So we breathe in, we breathe out. We just allow whatever it is that we're ready to embrace, just allow the energy to come to you. But if you're unsure, then allow your intuitive self to show you what it's ready for. Is there a desire deep in your heart? And something that you've always wanted to create? And maybe something hasn't felt all the way ready? Or maybe there was a timing issue with it. Maybe it wasn't the right season to plant the seed. And so if today feels like the right time and the right space to plant your seed, then take the time now with complete peace and unconditional love. And when we create in the energy of unconditionally love, it naturally becomes divinely successful. And so with all the love in your heart, just allowing whatever comes to the heart, whatever seed we're planting today, whatever we're ready to create. Let's be completely at peace with putting that seed into the earth. And once that seed is planted, the attention is put into the universe. And once that seed is planted, then we can take action. We're going to cover the seed. Maybe we mark the seed with a word, a phrase. Mark it with your intention. And then we water, we shower this seed with all the love in our heart. Then we just allow that space for the sun to shine on it and to give it its power. We co-created with the energy, and now we're going to fill it with its power. And then every once in a while, when we go back and we check in with the seed that we planted, we want to go back and see the state of what we planted. Does it need more water? Does it need more sun? Does it need to be pruned? Does it need some sort of attention from you? Sure, we can plant a seed and walk away from it, and it might grow, it might not. But if we give it attention, if we give it love, if we give it our energy to cultivate it, and to really bring it into fruition every time we sit with that seed that's planted. We're giving it energy. We're giving it love. We're giving it our peace. And once it starts to break through the earth, then it grows up into the sky. It grows up. It follows and wants to be attached to the power. We gave it all the energy to create it. And now we're going to allow that seed to be filled with the power. Your seedling begins to grow. And the details are not up to you. When it produces fruit, when it grows into maturity, is not up to us. This is the lesson in just planting and then surrendering and allowing it to be what it's going to be. Allow it to come into fruition when it's the right time, when it's the right season. If you've done everything that you can do, given it love, your energy, your intention, your attention, then you've done everything that you can do. We don't control the seasons. Mother Nature's in charge of that. We don't control the sun. Father Nature is in charge of that. But what we do is we plant the seed. We give it our love. We remove and only give it our peace and our grace. So just breathe with your intention, breathe with what you've planted. And as we begin to step back, and just knowing that this practice is available to you whenever you feel the desire to tap into it. The seed that you planted, you'll check into it from time to time. Maybe you'll check into it every day. This is up to you. Your heart will show you the way. So we travel back down to the core of the earth. And we breathe up from the core of the earth, and we breathe up into the bottom of our feet. We breathe up into our ankles. Breathe up into your lower legs. Breathe up into your knees. Breathe up into your upper legs. Breathe up into your hips. Breathe up into the base of the spine, up the spine. Breathe up into the belly. Breathe up into the heart. Breathe up into the throat, the place where we find balance. Breathe up into the center of the brain, our intuition, our sixth sense. And then breathe all the way up to the tips of your tree. And breathe all the way back down to the core of the earth. And then breathe up all the way through you, up into that Father Nature, that masculine energy. Just send your energy as far as you can. And then like a bungee cord, let it come back down, all the way through you down to the core of the earth. And just having this exchange of energy that runs through you, from the core of the earth, through you, all the way up to whatever you plug into up there. And then as it gently comes back down all the way through you, all the way down to the core of the earth. And then you just start to bring yourself back into your space, back into your body. We're good. I'm going to thank you all for joining today. Thank you for being a part and sharing in this energy of, being really grounded, and then realizing what is really in your true heart, to want to create, to be ready to come into fruition in this time of your life. So the more that you check in with the seed that you planted, the more energy you give it, the more love that you give it, the more peace, the more kindness and joy that you give it, it'll grow. It will grow. So thank you for joining today. Thank you so much for being here with Aya, and I hope that you have a beautiful, blissful, joyful, peaceful, loving rest of your day. Peace and love.